Every map of the galaxy ends the same way. A border of light, a warning, and then silence. Beyond that edge lies a region so unstable and vast that even the greatest explorers call it by a simpler name, the Chaos. To the rest of the galaxy, it is the unknown regions, a place where stars wander and the Force feels different. The galactic barrier is more than a myth. It is a tangle of gravity wells, magnetic storms, and rogue black holes that circle the edge of the known galaxy. Probes sent into it are torn apart or return years later without memory. For as long as ships have flown, it has stood as a warning that some paths were not meant to be followed. Yet, from the beginning, some refused to turn away. The Rakata of the Infinite Empire forced their way through the barrier using dark technologies now lost to time. They conquered and enslaved worlds across the chaos, then vanished, leaving only ruins that hum with dormant power. Their legacy is buried beneath storms that even droids will not enter. The Jedi too once dared to travel beyond the Rim. They believed the Force would guide them where logic failed. Their visions led them to sacred worlds hidden within the chaos, places like Ilum, where younglings ventured to harvest the kyber crystals that would become their lightsabers. To the Jedi, Ilum was holy. Its crystals sang through the Force, echoing in harmony with every lightsaber ever forged. But centuries later, when the Empire rose, Ilum's song was silenced. Its surface was mined and hollowed until the planet itself became a weapon, Starkiller Base, a wound carved into what was once sacred. Far from Ilum's frozen light lay another ancient world, ahch-to. It was said to be the birthplace of the Jedi, a place where the first temples were built long before the Republic. While the galaxy tore itself apart, ahch-to remained still, hidden behind the same shifting storms that swallowed entire fleets. Even the Force behaves differently beyond the Rim. Its presence feels deeper, less bound by light or shadow. It is older there, patient, as if remembering the galaxy's creation and awaiting whatever comes next. To cross into the chaos is to surrender control. Routes vanish, time bends, and even memory can fade. Yet countless explorers still try. Perhaps that is the true meaning of the unknown regions. Not a place to map, but a question that refuses to die. For centuries, the unknown regions were little more than legend, until the stars themselves began to die. Chiss records tell of chained supernovas erupting one after another, a chain reaction that shattered hyperspace lanes and hurled debris across systems. The chaos was no longer metaphor. It became a storm that reshaped the edge of the galaxy. From those storms, one civilization endured. On a frozen world called Schiller, the Chiss Ascendancy rose in secret. They built an empire of discipline and reason within a place that defied both. Where others saw only danger, they saw an intricate puzzle waiting to be solved. The Chiss learned that navigation in the chaos could not rely on computers. Hyperspace there was alive, shifting without pattern. But among their people were children with the rare ability to sense danger before it occurred. Force-sensitive girls called Ozili Ezehembo, or Skywalkers. Guided by their Skywalkers, the Chiss could move through storms no other fleet could survive. Yet the gift faded with age, and each successful voyage became more precious. These children were revered, protected, and never spoken of beyond Ascendancy space. Beyond Chiss space, others imitated their methods. The Navigators Guild offered precognitive pilots for hire, Force sensitives who sold their instincts to the highest bidder. They moved quietly between nations, steering fleets through storms and vanishing without trace. The chaos was home to dozens of fragmented nations, the Vat Combine, the Garwian Unity, the Kilji Illumini, and many more. Each ruled a few systems, bound together by fragile trade routes and fragile trust. Conflict was constant, but isolation kept every war small. Into this fragile balance came the Nikadan destiny, led by a man called Yiv the Benevolent. His words promised peace, but his fleets conquered world after world. Behind him stood a far older enemy, the Grisk hegemony. The Grisk did not conquer with armies, they conquered minds. They sowed fear, broke loyalties, and enslaved the gifted to guide their ships. Force-sensitive children vanished across the chaos, taken to serve their unseen masters. Among the Chiss, one man understood their threat better than any other, Mithra Naruodo, known to the wider galaxy as Thrawn. He studied his enemies as though they were art, deciphering intention through colour and pattern. To him, war was a language, and the Grisks were writing a warning. Thrawn's campaigns against Yiv and the Grisks brought the Ascendancy a fragile peace, but his curiosity could not be contained. He sensed that the threats lurking in the chaos were only the beginning. If the wider galaxy ignored them, the consequences would be catastrophic. Seeking allies strong enough to face what lay beyond, Thrawn turned his eyes toward the Galactic Empire. Through calculated exile and feigned humility, he allowed himself to be found. Emperor Palpatine saw in him a strategist, but also a key to the mysteries of the unknown regions. Palpatine was already obsessed with what lay beyond. He sensed the pull of ancient power hidden within the chaos. While Thrawn offered knowledge of its dangers, the Emperor sought to harness them. To him, the unknown regions were not a frontier, they were a vault. He sent expeditions to breach the barrier. Many were destroyed, others returned half-mad, but he learned enough to construct secret observatories, immense data vaults that used the Force itself to calculate stable routes through the storms. The greatest of these stood on Jakku. Beneath its sands, ancient computers mapped gravitational anomalies and plotted paths into the chaos. Palpatine called this network his contingency, a lifeline should the Empire ever fall. When the Death Star fell and the Emperor's body perished, the contingency awoke. Loyal fleets followed his coordinates into the storms. They crossed where none had crossed before and vanished into silence. What waited for them was not exile, it was rebirth. Beyond the storms lay Exegol, a world of eternal thunder and ash. There, the Sith Eternal had built their temples in secret, constructing fleets, cloning bodies, and preparing for their master's return. From those depths emerged the Final Order, a fleet so vast it blotted out stars. Its destroyers carried planet-killing weapons, each a monument to the Empire's unbroken will. What began with Palpatine's curiosity ended as his resurrection. Yet even this was only one story among many. The chaos still holds secrets that no Emperor, no Order, and no fleet has ever uncovered. The Grisks remain somewhere in the dark, watching, waiting. The Chiss still guard their hidden borders, and Thrawn, the strategist who vanished with Ezra Bridger, was last seen heading back into the unknown. Some say he returned to defend his people, others whisper he found something greater, a power older than the Jedi or Sith, buried beyond the edge of every map. None can say for certain, but the chaos keeps its own secrets. The unknown regions stretch farther than maps, older than memory. Every empire that tried to master them has vanished, yet the storms remain, patient as time. Somewhere beyond that shifting veil, stars are being born, and perhaps something is watching, waiting for the galaxy to come far enough to find it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more great stories. Cheers.